She walked into the most exclusive bridal boutique in the city wearing a simple dress. The staff took one look at her black skin and worn shoes and laughed in her face. They filmed her humiliation, posted it online, and it went viral within hours. What they didn't know? She was the fiancée of a billionaire who was about to buy their entire company. 3 days later, the same people who mocked her stood speechless as she walked into their store as their new boss. The rain had just stopped, leaving Chicago's downtown streets glistening under the afternoon sun. Maya Lin adjusted the strap of her canvas tote bag, took a deep breath, and looked up at the gleaming storefront before her. Elegance by Vivienne. The name sparkled in gold script across pristine glass doors framed by white marble columns. Inside, chandeliers dripped like frozen rain. Wedding gowns worth more than cars hung like pristine ghosts on display. This was where the elite came to be crowned in silk and lace before their wedding day. Maya hesitated only for a second before pushing the door open. The soft chime announced her arrival. 4 women in identical black dresses turned at once, their conversation stopping mid-sentence. Behind a crystal counter stood Victoria Reed, the manager. Her platinum blonde hair was pulled so tight it made her eyes slant. She looked Maya up and down, taking in her simple linen dress, practical flats, and natural hair, and something like amusement flickered across her face. "Can I help you?" Victoria asked, her voice sweet but eyes cold. "Yes, I have an appointment for a fitting. 2:00 p.m., Maya Lin." Maya's voice remained steady as she pulled out her phone to show the confirmation email. Victoria barely glanced at it. "There must be some mistake. Our gowns start at $20,000. "I'm aware," Maya replied, still calm. "I scheduled this appointment 3 weeks ago. It's for a custom order." From behind Victoria, a younger assistant named Brittany snickered, holding up her phone discreetly. The red recording light blinked. "You're here for a fitting?" she whispered loudly. "Like, to actually try on our gowns?" Maya kept her eyes on Victoria, saying nothing. Victoria sighed. "I don't see your name on our client list." Maya extended her phone closer. "Would you mind checking again, please?" One of the other assistants, Danielle, tapped on their booking tablet. Her eyes widened slightly. She whispered to Victoria, who frowned. "She's listed under initials. ML Custom Order, Deposit Paid," Danielle murmured. Victoria's jaw tightened. She stepped away from the counter, her heels clicking sharply against the marble floor. "I don't recall ever having a client come in." She paused, eyes flicking over Maya's simple dress. "Quite like this. Are you sure you're in the right place?" "I'm certain," Maya replied. Brittany wasn't even trying to hide her phone now. She whispered into it. "You guys, this woman just walked into elegance thinking she belongs. Watch this." Maya could see comments flooding Brittany's live stream. Laughing emojis, questions, mockery. Victoria returned. "Even if there was a booking error, we don't accommodate walk-ins without proper vetting. Perhaps another establishment would be more suitable." Just then, a glass of champagne sitting on the counter was knocked over. The pale liquid splashed across Maya's dress, leaving a dark stain spreading across the front. "Oh!" Victoria gasped with exaggerated horror. "I'm so sorry. Let me get you a towel." But no towel came. The staff stood frozen, stifling laughter. Maya looked down at her soaked dress, then back at Victoria. Her expression didn't change. "I'd like to speak with the owner," she said quietly. Victoria smiled. "Darling, I am the manager." The staff laughed again. Brittany's camera captured every second. Maya nodded once, adjusted her now damp tote bag, and walked toward the door without another word. As she reached for the handle, Victoria called after her, "Try David's Bridal next time." More laughter followed as the boutique door closed behind her. Outside, Maya didn't cry, didn't scream, didn't post angry replies to the video that was already beginning to circulate. Instead, she made a phone call. "David, it's me. Yes, I went to the boutique." She paused, listening. "No, don't worry. Everything is fine. I think we should move up our timeline." Another pause. "Yes, all of it. Tomorrow." She hung up and walked away, the stain on her dress darkening in the afternoon sun. What no one in that boutique knew was that Maya Lin wasn't just any bride shopping for a wedding dress. She was the fiancée of David Winters, tech billionaire and silent investor in half of Chicago's luxury market, and she had just decided to buy the entire company. The video of Maya Lin being drenched in champagne at Elegance by Vivienne exploded online faster than anyone expected. By midnight, Had Linen Bride was trending. By morning, remixes of Victoria saying, "Try David's Bridal next time," had become a soundbite used in thousands of mocking videos. Britney's live stream followers quadrupled overnight. Fashion influencers reposted clips with sneering captions. "When you think Rodeo Drive is Target," and "main character syndrome in the wild." The boutique staff created a group chat where they shared screenshots of the cruelest comments, adding their own laughing emojis. None of them bothered to learn Maya's name. None of them recognized her. None of them had any idea who they had just humiliated. While the internet feasted on her public shaming, Maya remained silent. No angry tweets, no tearful TikTok response, no calls for justice or boycotts. Instead, she worked. In her downtown penthouse office with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Lake Michigan, Maya made phone calls, signed documents, finalized arrangements that had been months in the making. "Are you sure about this?" asked her assistant Zoe, sliding another contract across the glass desk. "You're accelerating everything by 6 months." Maya's pen didn't hesitate as she signed. "I'm sure." Across town in a private dining room at Alinea, David Winters sat across from Marcus Thompson, the aging owner of Elegance by Vivienne, and 3 other luxury boutiques across the country. "The offer is more than generous," David said, sliding a folder across the table. 30% above market value, all cash. Marcus adjusted his glasses, scanning the numbers. "This is unexpected. Our quarterly earnings have been strong." David's expression remained neutral. "Consider it a premium for the immediate sale and confidentiality clause. We want this done by tomorrow. No board approvals, no public announcements until next week." "May I ask why the rush?" Marcus looked up, suspicious. David took a sip of water. "Market timing, that's all you need to know." Back at the boutique, Victoria, Brittany, Danielle, and the rest of the staff were riding high on their viral moment. Champagne flowed as they celebrated their newfound fame. "Followers are still pouring in," Brittany announced, refreshing her phone. "We should do this more often. Film the rats who sneak in thinking they belong." Victoria laughed, raising her glass. "To knowing your place in the world." They didn't notice the email that arrived simultaneously on all their devices. None of them bothered to check their work accounts during the celebration. That night, as Maya stood on her balcony overlooking the city lights, David wrapped his arms around her from behind. "It's done," he said softly. "The papers are signed. By morning, it's yours." Maya leaned back against him. "They have no idea, do they?" "Not a clue." David kissed her temple. "You don't have to go through with the rest of it, you know. You've made your point." Maya turned to face him. "This isn't about making a point. It's about changing the culture. One boutique at a time, if necessary." The next morning, Victoria arrived at Elegance by Vivienne earlier than usual. She had a magazine interview scheduled, her first thanks to the viral video. As she unlocked the front door, her phone buzzed with a calendar notification. "Staff meeting, 9:00 a.m. Mandatory." "What meeting?" she muttered, checking her schedule. There was nothing else noted, just the bold, mandatory flag. By 8:55, all the staff had arrived, equally confused about the unexpected meeting. "Did you schedule this?" Danielle asked Victoria. "No, and I'm canceling it. I have the Vogue-style interview at 10. Victoria reached for her phone. At exactly 9:00, the boutique doors opened. A woman in a crisp gray suit walked in, flanked by 2 others carrying tablets. "Good morning," she said briskly. "I'm Natasha Wells, Chief Operations Officer for Lumina Luxury Group." Victoria stepped forward. "There must be some mistake. We don't have a meeting scheduled with Lumina." Natasha's expression remained professional but cool. "This isn't a negotiation, Ms. Reed. Lumina acquired Elegance by Vivienne yesterday. I'm here to announce leadership changes." The room fell silent. Brittany's phone, raised to record what she thought would be another viral moment, slowly lowered. "That's impossible," Victoria whispered. Marcus would have told us. The sale was finalized at 11:43 p.m. last night. The confidentiality clause prevented prior notice. Natasha handed Victoria an envelope. This contains information about your separation package. Separation? Victoria's voice rose. You're firing me? On what grounds? Natasha's eyes narrowed slightly. I believe you'll find everything in order. Brittany Moore, Danielle Peters. She continued, handing identical envelopes to each staff member. You can't do this, Brittany cried, tears forming. Do you know who I am? I have 500,000 followers. Yes, Natasha replied coldly. We're aware of your social media activities. That's precisely why you're being terminated. The boutique door opened again. This time, the person who walked in caused every face to drain of color. Maya Lynn stepped into the silent room, wearing an impeccably tailored white suit. At her side walked David Winters, Chicago's most eligible bachelor and one of the richest men in the Midwest. Victoria's champagne glass slipped from her fingers, shattering on the marble floor. Maya's eyes met hers, calm and steady. Hello, Victoria, she said quietly. I believe we have a fitting scheduled. The silence that fell over elegance. By Vivian was absolute. Even the soft music playing through hidden speakers seemed to hold its breath. Shards of Victoria's broken glass glittered on the marble floor like fallen stars. You, Victoria whispered, her face draining of all color. Maya stood perfectly still, her white suit crisp against her brown skin, not a single detail out of place. David Winters stood beside her, his hand resting lightly on the small of her back. Yes, Maya said simply. Me. Brittany's phone had disappeared. Danielle gripped the termination envelope so tightly it crumpled. The rest of the staff seemed frozen in place, eyes darting between Maya and Victoria. This is some kind of joke, Victoria said, attempting to regain her composure. You can't possibly own this boutique, Maya finished for her. I believe the paperwork says otherwise. Natasha stepped forward. Ms. Lynn is the new creative director of Lumina Luxury Group, which now owns Elegance by Vivian and its sister locations. Victoria's laugh was shrill. You, a creative director? Maya didn't flinch. Perhaps you should look me up. My real name is Maya Lynn Winters. I'm the founder of Stellar Designs. The revelation hit like a physical blow. Even those who cared nothing for fashion knew Stellar Designs, the breakthrough label that had taken the industry by storm 2 years ago. Its founder had always remained mysterious, operating behind the scenes. That's impossible, whispered Danielle. Stellar Designs is worth billions. Last valuation, yes, David confirmed, speaking for the first time. His voice was calm but carried throughout the room. My wife-to-be built it from nothing in a Brooklyn apartment with no investors beyond herself. Victoria looked like she might faint. If you own Stellar, why would you even come here? This doesn't make sense. Market research, Maya said. I wanted to see how luxury boutiques treat women who don't look the part. Women like me. She paused. I visit high-end stores in simple clothes all the time. Most are polite but distant. Some are cold. None have ever thrown champagne on me and filmed it for entertainment. Brittany began to cry. I didn't know. How was I supposed to know? That's exactly the point, Maya replied. You shouldn't need to know someone's net worth to treat them with basic dignity. Victoria straightened her spine, desperation in her eyes. Look, this was clearly a misunderstanding. We can work something out. We already have, Maya cut her off. You're all terminated, effective immediately. Your separation packages are generous, more than you deserve. But you will never work in luxury fashion again. The security team stepped forward, waiting to escort them out. You can't do this, Victoria hissed. I've been in this industry for 15 years. And in 15 minutes, you showed exactly who you are, Maya said. Actions have consequences, Victoria, especially when they're live-streamed to 500,000 people. Natasha gestured toward the door. Your personal belongings will be shipped to you. Please surrender your keys and access cards on your way out. One by one, they were escorted from the building. Victoria went last, her perfect posture finally breaking as she passed Maya. You planned this, she whispered. You set us up. Maya's expression didn't change. No, Victoria, you did this to yourself. I just watched. When the door closed behind them, the boutique fell silent again. David squeezed Maya's hand. You okay? He asked softly. She nodded, then turned to address the remaining staff, the seamstresses, the junior assistants, those who had stood silent during her humiliation. I have no interest in punishing those who were simply following orders, she announced, but things will change here, starting today. A week later, Elegance. By Vivian reopened under its new name, Worthy. The windows that once displayed only size 0 mannequins now featured wedding gowns for every body type. The price tags remained luxury, but the atmosphere had transformed. Inside, a new plaque hung on the wall. Every woman deserves to feel beautiful, regardless of size, color, or bank account. The first client to enter was a young black woman in jeans and a t-shirt, her natural hair cropped close to her head. She looked nervous, clutching her purse tightly. Maya herself greeted her. Welcome to Worthy. What's your name? Jasmine, the woman replied softly. I'm getting married next year. I've been saving up, but I'm not sure if... Everyone belongs here, Maya interrupted gently. Let's find you something spectacular. As they walked through the displays, Jasmine whispered, I saw what happened online with those women who were fired. Maya nodded. What did you think about it? Jasmine smiled. I think they learned an expensive lesson, and I think a lot of girls like me finally feel seen. In her downtown office that evening, Maya scrolled through the numbers. Sales were already up. Applications from diverse designers flooded in. Even the viral video had taken on new life. Now a symbol of what happens when discrimination meets justice. David entered with 2 cups of tea. The empire keeps growing. What's next? Maya looked out at the Chicago skyline, the lights coming on as dusk settled over the city. Next, we changed the standards, she said. 1 boutique, 1 runway, one magazine at a time. She turned to him, her expression resolute. This was never about revenge. It was about making space for everyone who's ever been told they don't belong. The next morning, Maya walked into Worthy, wearing another simple linen dress. But this time, everyone knew exactly who she was. If you enjoyed this story of justice and transformation, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Have you ever been judged unfairly based on your appearance? Share your experience in the comments below.